Let's bring in Adam Hancock now, who joins us live from Singapore. All right, Adam, when there are no other candidates and this is a unanimous decision, of course, it tells the world that everything is great. Everybody agrees. But is that really true?
Well, it's very much really a foregone conclusion when you're having an election where you've got no other candidates apart from one standing. It's very hard to assess somebody based on their policy or what they might do, and that's very much what today was. It was a foregone conclusion, really, for President Xi. The hard work was done back in October last year at the Congress for the Chinese Communist Party when he was anointed head of the ruling Communist Party for another 5 years. Today was all about rubber stamping things. And the reason he is able to do this is because he's put together a team of allies, really. All of the top roles in government in China are filled with loyalists to President Xi. He's got rid of any possible leadership candidates who could go against him. So he's got a real position of power. He's also able to continue as president for a third term, a historic third term, because back in 2018, he abolished the rules around presidential term limits in China. So traditionally, people would be in charge for a decade, for 2 terms, but he scrapped that. So he's able to tighten his grip on power and stay in charge for 5 more years. But yes, it's very interesting today. The parliament, around 3,000 members, all of them voting for President Xi, not one vote against him. No surprises there, but it's more of a ceremonial role, really, the presidential role in China. The head of the ruling Communist Party and the head of the military, which Xi also is, they're much more important roles.
Yeah, good point. So what about challenges in this third term? What is he up against?
Well, there's plenty of challenges, and some of them are quite immediate as well, really, particularly when it comes to rebuilding China's economy, which was battered by the pandemic. Of course, China went for COVID-0, which they did well keeping infections out, but it harmed the economy. Those continued lockdowns, supply chain issues, foreign investors losing confidence in China. And now the country is reopening. President Xi has made it a priority to try and rebuild the economy and get more growth going in China. And this week, the parliament set a modest growth target of 5%, showing the work that's needed to be done. Foreign policy is also obviously going to play a big part in the next 5 years for President Xi. Tensions between China and the West, particularly the United States, continue to be difficult. Obviously, that recent spy balloon saga showing how fragile the relationship is between China and the US. Taiwan will no doubt also be a big talking point. And as the conflict in Ukraine rumbles on as well, it will be interesting to watch how China position themselves. So far, they're trying to stay on the sidelines, but there is obviously speculation from the United States that they might be considering supplying weapons to Russia. And just finally, domestically, one of the big issues for President Xi to tackle is China's falling birth rate. It's a big concern here in Asia and a big concern in China. And President Xi, plenty of work to do to try and boost the population and improve the birth rate over the next 5 years.
Now that Xi has consolidated that power, what many around the world want to know is, does China plan to invade Taiwan anytime soon? Is there any indication of that?
Well, this remains the big question and the big fear, given how much is riding on a potential invasion from China of Taiwan. There were comments earlier this week from Taiwan's defense minister saying that they think there's a realistic possibility in the next year that China might enter the contiguous zone, which is a coastal zone around 45 kilometers off the coast of Taiwan. They've never done that before, China, or at least in recent years they haven't. Obviously, there's regular incursions into Taiwanese waters just over on the Strait of Taiwan. But if they were to take a step further, then that could really alarm a lot of people. But there's no strong indication yet. There has been talk, obviously continued talk from Beijing, that their potential end goal is for reunification with Taiwan, and there was talk earlier in the week about a peaceful reunification, but obviously it remains a very critical issue for President Xi.
Yeah, it's always very hard to read those statements that come out of the leadership in China, and intentionally so. Adam, thanks for your great reporting.
Thank you.